Hey, this is Mike Addis. Thanks for joining us. It's always our pleasure to bring you these videos. Today we're going to talk about Fintech companies or financial technology companies. What's a financial technology or Fintech company? These are companies that are basically taking banking to a new level, where speed is probably the number one focus for these guys. So for example, they're going to give us all kinds of information that's free. We can also do banking with them. You can get loans from fintech companies. I'm going to give you a list of who they are and the ones that I use. So I'm going to talk primarily about the ones that I'm using or that I plan on using in the future. For example, I use Venmo. What's Venmo? And Zelle, Z-E-L-L-E, and Venmo, V-E-N-M-O. If I want to send somebody some money locally in the United States, I use Venmo. So one of the children, they may need $1,000 for books or something for school. I just punch in their name in Venmo and the next day they have the money in their account. So instead of doing wire transfers with banks, I use Venmo. They don't even charge, it's not a charging thing, Venmo. And Venmo is owned by PayPal. You can also use Zelle, Z-E-L-L-E, and Zelle's another way of transferring money between individuals. Now, if you want to send money overseas, because I have people that work for me all over the world that do servicing for me, creating web pages or search engine optimizer work or whatever they happen to be doing, graphic designers, I use Zoom, X00, Zoom, X-O-O-M, and that is PayPal. PayPal owns Zoom. Why do I use that one? Because I don't want to do wire transfers. They only charge like $4. So if I want to transfer money to them, so let's say I'm sending it to Pakistan. Pakistan, the money is received in like 5 minutes. If I'm sending it to another country, some companies would take a day, but usually it'll get there the same day. So what's the purpose of the fintech? The fintech just does things a lot faster that banks don't do. I know it sounds crazy. The bank should have invented all this stuff, but it's a multi-billion dollar industry. So we are now being provided information from financial technology or fintech companies that we could have gotten from the banks, but the banks are a little too old-fashioned and slow, and they're not going to give it to us. So those are a couple of examples of companies that I use. Excuse me. Another company I use is PayPal. Why do I use PayPal? PayPal is great if you have a business. So I can loan $50,000 to $100,000 from PayPal in seconds, and they give you 3 or 4 or 5 different options. So you could pay it off sooner at a lower interest rate, like 12 months, or you could pay it off later at a higher interest rate. They give you different parameters. And they take X amount of dollars every time you bring money into your business. So I do a lot of sales on eBay and Amazon platforms, for example. And when that money comes in, or non-eBay or Amazon, if I sell direct, because I do a lot of direct selling to customers as well. So when I sell the product, the money comes in and they take a percentage of all the money that comes in. As opposed to other fintech companies like Can Capital, they give you a flat rate. So that's C-A-N Capital. And they give you a higher interest rate. Now, I haven't checked the interest rates on Can Capital lately, but PayPal's are probably less than 10%. So I can get a loan based on my sales to my customers. So I own a business. Now, I haven't done any personal on any of these platforms. It's always been usually business related. So if you're not using PayPal, you might want to check it out. Now, PayPal has been kicked out by eBay. So now eBay has its own e-commerce or fintech way of financing. They just brought in another substitute for PayPal. And you can now go to eBay if you have an eBay account, or Amazon if you have an Amazon account, and you can get money from them as well. So what is the purpose of this video? Well, the whole purpose of the video is to get your mind focused on the fact that the whole world has changed now, especially when it comes to getting information. So an information site would be Credit Karma. Credit Karma is to check your credit score. So if you want to know where your credit score is moment by moment, it's pretty accurate too. It's not 100% what your credit score is, but it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. And they make recommendations. So Credit Karma is an information fintech technology company. There are fintech technology companies like Dave, which is a relatively new one. And Dave will keep keep you from getting overdrafts. So you have overdrafts with your bank. Well, you don't have to have any more overdrafts. I don't have overdrafts, so I don't have to worry about that. But that's another fintech company. So what's the purpose of the video? The purpose of the video is that the world has changed now. Everything is fast. So fintechs, the primary big three for fintech companies they're extremely fast. You can get results cheap and in seconds. Loans, $100,000 loans in a second, where it would normally take you a month and you have to go begging and everything to the banks. That's over with, number one. Number two, there's a lot of free information, so they suck you in with free information. Free information like Credit Karma. They will give you everything is for free. I mean, I don't pay anything and I can see where my credit scores are, how I've paid things off. If there's a problem, I can actually go through Credit Karma and they give you all this great information on how you can get your credit scores up there. Number two, so you get free information. And number three, you have cost savings. So the cost savings would be you don't have to pay any overdraft fees anymore, assuming that you overdraft. I don't have to worry about that. So you can loan money, you can get free information, and you can get things extremely fast. Those are three of the biggies for using fintech companies. Now, if you want more information on fintech, you can check out our blog at Maddis, M-A-D-D-I-S Cash, because I write about this. Sometimes it's better to read it, get more information on a read as opposed to a video. Is really just a short blip on how you can look into it. And you can also go to Forbes Fintech. So Forbes is the Forbes magazine, F-O-R-B-E-S, Fintech. And every year they come out with the top 50 fintech companies, so you can get an idea of all the new fintech companies. Another one that I use, but I haven't been using it lately, is Robinhood. You can get free things from Robinhood as far as if you want to buy stocks or bonds or anything like that. But now the other companies have jumped in. I recommend Interactive Brokers. That's not a fintech company. If you want to do any brokerage business, you want to buy and sell stocks, because their loans are very cheap. This is Mike Addis, Carlsbad, California. Today's date is the 24th of October. Wow, moving in at the end of the year. Thanks for joining us on these videos. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. This is a little video on fintech companies. Do the research, figure out what's best for you. Thanks for joining me. See you on the next video.